just kind of went over my head because I really never got a chance to go back and watch all the interviews at the PBC Amazon kickoff press conference with Keith Thurman and Tszyu. And Tszyu said something that I don't really watch a lot of boxing content like that, a lot of creators, so I'm pretty sure somebody spoke on it. But he said that he was actually in negotiations to fight Terence Crawford before agreeing to the Tszyu. Tszyu said he was actually in negotiations with Terence Crawford before agreeing to fight Keith Thurman. So, it's like we did a live on Thursday. I did a lot of lives last week. I did Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Sunday. So I'm gonna be stepping it up since football ain't up on no more. So no college. I don't really watch college basketball. I'll try to get into it, but yeah, you know, that's kind of something that blew by my ear. Just like I told people about the Andre Ward video on the live Sunday about how Andre Berto, said how he talked Crawford into taking the Canelo fight. So, you know, when Crawford was like, "Nah, I ain't going up that high." Remember Crawford originally said, "I ain't going up that high. I ain't going up there." Then his opinion changed. Now you got people in the comment section saying I'm a hater. I thought Earl was gonna win. I was like, okay, whatever. That shit don't bother me, bro. I know what I said. I know what I'm saying. Y'all niggas just emotional fangirls. The difference between Crawford fans and Spence fans, a bunch of emotional Spence fans. There's a few Crawford, emotional fans, but you know, I mean, it is what it is. You're talking to somebody who's been watching boxing for over 30 years. So, y'all want to say, y'all want to go ahead and pick Crawford? My cash app is up. We can make a deal. We can bet. And when you say put your money up, this is how you know who confident, who not. Not one motherfucker who told me that they think Crawford gonna win willing to put their bread up. Not one. Not one. Just because I don't blindly support any fighter just because I don't blindly support any fighter, I'm logical. You know, and sometimes you got a great fighter or a great athlete or a great person who can defy the logic. I hope you win. I don't like Canelo. I hope you win. But in my opinion, I'm going with Canelo. That's an easy opinion for me. I don't need to break no film down. You got somebody jumping up 21 pounds in actual weight, and the difference between the fighters on fight night may be as much as 40 or 50 pounds. You know, but nonetheless, and Tszyu said the Keith Thurman fight just passed by. So I wonder why the Tszyu and Crawford fight didn't happen. I only can assume. This is as far as I know. I seen an interview. He said it was in the middle of an interview. You know, if Fight Hype or who all the media that was there would have been smart, they would have snipped that part, and they probably did. I just didn't see it. And he said, well, Tszyu says Crawford negotiations fell out, had to go with Keith Thurman. So I'm pretty sure they probably did a short or something like that. But if I'm assuming, since Tszyu said in the interview that he was the most active fighter on Showtime last year, fought 3 times, I'm assuming that he's going to fight in March. He probably going to fight Bud in the summer, and Bud probably going to turn around and retire and fight Canelo in September. That's what I'm assuming, because Terence Crawford said he only got 2 more fights left. Now, Ty, my boy from Philly, he said that he hearing rumors that Danny Garcia could fight Terence Crawford. I reached out, put a line out there. I haven't heard anything back. So it was only been a cut, maybe not even 30 minutes. So I haven't heard anything back. Okay. So with that being said, that might make sense on that side of things. And if that's the case, then it's Danny Garcia, then Canelo. But if that was to make sense for him to fight Danny Garcia, because Danny Garcia was supposed to fight Lara for the Super WA belt Lara got by vacation season from Triple G, but they took too long to make the fight. So Zephyr, who signed the PBC to get the Lara fight, he taking his title shot on his card. So that leave Danny Garcia hanging out to dry. All right. So, but just going with Tszyu said, it probably makes sense. Excuse me. It probably makes sense for Tszyu and Terence Crawford to fight next. Probably fight sometime in what, May, June. Depends how much damage Tszyu made. Because once you're thinking about it, you would say what? So basically he fight in April. So you talking about April, May, June. So you probably talking about July and Bud turn around from July, August, 2 months. Yeah, I don't really see that happening. To be honest, I guess it would have to be Danny Garcia. They probably fight sometime in April or May. And then Bud will turn around in September. So the Tszyu fight, the timeline's not matching up. Because for Tim and Tszyu to have to fight, they would have to fight now. And then Bud will roll into a Canelo fight, unless Tszyu make quick work of Keith Thurman and they able to do a quick turnaround for what, May or June. It'd have to be the end of May, beginning of June. So then that'll give Crawford the rest of June, July, August. Yeah, I mean that won't even be that won't even be 90 days. So, I don't know why the negotiations fell apart. I know Crawford's a shrewd negotiator. I mean, I think a lot of people would have appreciated Terence Crawford versus Tszyu fighting the open Amazon Prime, but probably the budget wasn't there. Crawford gonna want a bunch of money. Keith Thurman probably took what he can get, and you know what I'm saying. So he probably wanted a bunch of money, and Al Heyman not probably having financial help from the platform. That was hard to do. Keith Thurman been on the pond for 2 years. He probably took some solid money for this fight. So even if they lose in this fight, the purses are not going to be gigantic enough where it's a hell of a loss. With Crawford, he probably want a certain amount of money, get in there, and they probably like, fuck that. We ain't doing all that money. So they probably said we put him in there with Danny Garcia. They names, they do some decent numbers, and then we'll turn him around and have him fight Canelo Alvarez. But he said they was in negotiations, because you got to understand, Tszyu gonna get some money from deep down under too. Pause. You can get the Australian TV money. So that helped alleviate some of the financial burden right there. And he said they was in negotiations, and he said, the Keith Thurman fight just came together. So that just tell you that's what Al Heyman preferred. So he didn't want to kick off Amazon PBC and take a gigantic loss off Crawford and Tszyu. So it would have been a better fight. It would have been a bigger fight. But it'd been a higher financial burden on Al Heyman. That's just how I'm assuming. So I just don't see Tszyu turning around quick enough to fight Terence Crawford, and then both of them turning around quick enough. You feel what I'm saying? Quick enough, or Crawford turn around, or Tszyu turn around quick enough to fight Canelo in September. So there might be some truth to that Danny Garcia and Bud thing. So it might be some truth to it. But, he said it was negotiating, and he said this just came together quicker. So if you wonder if Keith Thurman was like, no, then what was the next plan after that? Because in that same interview, he said Erickson Lubin priced, he was told that Erickson Lubin priced itself out. He had been training 7 weeks already, Tszyu, to fight Erickson Lubin, and he was told that Erickson Lubin priced itself out. Now, he never said Lubin priced itself out. He said he was told. So was that by Al Heyman, or did Al Heyman say, okay, we can do a deal, okay, I ain't willing to pay him that much, so he priced himself out? Because he didn't even get back to Erickson Lubin about it. It's kind of like how who was that on Friday? I think it was AJ Johnson, rest in power to him. He said that he wanted some more money to do the second Friday. And Cube was like, all right. And then next thing you know, he heard they recording the next Friday, and they had replaced him with Sticky Fingers from the Onyx, iconic New York City rap group Onyx. Slam, dun dun, them. I think it's more like that with Al Heyman. Y'all be negotiating, and you ask for a number, and Al was like, I could do this. You like, well, I need this to do this to get in the ring. Al like, okay. And then it's like, I'm moving on to the next. See, that's how a lot of men operate, bro. That's how they operate. That's how they operate. You're not going to sit here and argue or go back and forth with you. They just going to be like, all right, peace. They're going to just keep it moving. They ain't going to sit here and yell and scream at you and do all that shit at you. No, they just gonna keep it moving. That's just how they rock it. So, I think that's what Al Heyman was like. Oh, Lubin want all that, or he want that. I ain't willing to pay that. I'm going on to the next one. They probably didn't tell Lubin shit. That's how a lot of men operate. You know, that's why a lot of girls say, "Oh man, this guy ghosted me," and a lot of that's. I mean, I guess what you call ghosting. Lubin got ghosted because he asked for too much money, where Al Heyman didn't feel like he was worth that. Hey. That's how it is. You go talk to a young lady and she don't meet the prerequisites, or, it just ain't for you. A lot of y'all niggas don't have the dick discipline to be like, nah, this ain't right for me. This ain't right for me. Nah. Y'all like, let me just hit it and let me just hit it. Let me see what it hit. Let me see what it feel like. Let me just hit it real quick and keep it moving. Y'all ain't got the discipline enough to be like, nah, this ain't right. I ain't doing it. That's how you got to be. When it's not a good deal on the offer, on the table, ain't no point of going back and forth with a person after a while. I know you're supposed to negotiate, but when they, I ain't saying Lubin wasn't, reasonable, because I don't know. But ain't no point of going back and forth. A lot of dudes just like, all right, man, I ain't about to argue with you. I ain't about to go there with you. That's just, I'm going to go on to the next one. I'm gonna go give you a common sense courtesy. I'm just going, peace. I ain't did that to a few girls, like, man, like, like you ain't on shit. So there ain't no point in talking. Or you see some red flags, you like, ah. But yeah, let me know what you girls and guys think. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Next subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, increase your chance, get notifications. We go live, we drop video. Financially, want to support the channel, Cash App, $CJ Good 313, Venmo, CJ Good 313, PayPal link in description. Appreciate the love, support. Find me on Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, the whole nine. Peace.